Day one of building the best apartment locating team here in San Antonio, Texas. As of today, it's just myself that I am bringing all the revenue to the company. So it's a corporation that I've formed and do all this legal stuff with it. But also I have slowly been planning of what's my advantage as a team leader or a group leader or a company leader. There are a ton of brokerages out there in San Antonio that you could choose to go wherever. The thing about apartment locating is that it is a very niche type of business here in the real estate business. We're brokering deals and transactions that involve multifamily apartments or rentals with the tenants. And most of the time we are representing the tenants. In this case, if we were to talk about like buyers and sellers, mainly, we are like the buyer's agent in this case. And because we're such a niche business, there's only a couple of brokerages here in town that really deal with apartments. And with my broker, the real broker, we are actually just started this past year with one of my friends, Ale. She actually started implementing this ability and accounting system really just to collect the commissions as this past year. It really just became like the first kind of testing ground for Real Broker, which is a larger company that I'm currently associated with. Previously, I was with one of the biggest apartment locating firms here in San Antonio, Texas. With my growth, I felt like I had to transition to a different broker and then start my own thing, and also, of course, starting my own team. So that's how I've been able to already set up. So technically, this is really the first day of me marketing to get more agents underneath my belt. The biggest advantage that I think I have is one, I'm one single person, and so therefore I'm able to give a little bit more care and love and teaching to newer agents as compared to other brokers, and especially the previous one that I have been with, is that they're a little bit larger, right? So the managers and the trainers and things like that, they don't really have that attention. Not to say that they're not a bad broker to work with, because I love them, to be honest. They're very good ownership, and they treat people well. But in terms of attentiveness to attract newer agents that have never done apartment locating before, it's kind of like, it's hard, right? So that's my top advantage. And two, I am developing an application that is catered towards specifically apartment locating and renters, where we are targeting the CRM process of getting and capturing and following up leads and clients. And two, a system that actually searches, a whole database that searches automatically all the apartments and availability that they have here in San Antonio, Texas. Eventually, I'm hoping to expand it throughout other cities in Texas, and mainly focusing on Texas right now. I've been testing this system about like 6-7 months, 6-7, and it's been kind of revolutionary in my opinion. I have transitioned from all my third-party apps to specifically the app that I currently am developing. This is also like a recruiting tool because I think it makes my life a lot easier than it previous was. And my previous broker, we never really had any apps like that, and that was my initial idea of creating this. Majority of my clients are looking for that luxury rental market here in San Antonio, Texas, and I could find deals that are beating B-class and C-class properties right now. Of course, the market could change any minute, but as of right now, this past like 3-4 months, this quarter, I have been able to beat C-class and B-class properties that are way older, and replacing and putting my clients into properties that are almost like brand new. With that being said, my to-do list today, really, as we're ending literally the last day of the year, is to finish up my client work, which is my normal day-to-day stuff that actually brings in income. And then two is to jot down notes for the app development that I have. Every single day I'm using this, I'm discovering different features that I don't like, or the discovery of like how this text doesn't align, it doesn't look good, and maybe some sort of like little nitpicky improvements, and also bugs that do happen within the app. So what I'm gonna do right now is to finish up my client that I have right now. I actually have 2 searches that I have to do for this client before I go into the app, and then from there, I have a notes section that I really look at. And one thing I do want to show as I am working my client is the system that I use. And so this, you could see how this can help a locator or an agent that's underneath my belt right now, that I'm giving it for free, essentially, as part of being my team. This is part of the perks of it, and how I'm utilizing this to help a client as quick as possible. So I'm kind of like starting this out from scratch. Of course, I have a lot of market knowledge, and I already know in my head what I want to give my client. But of course, the legwork, the really grunt work and tedious work is done already by the system. And then if I really need to verify information, then I kind of do it by hand. Okay, so I'm gonna go onto my computer and show you my screen of how I am implementing this system. And you could see working the client right now. And this is normally how I work. And of course, everybody's process is a little bit different. So, all right, so I'm gonna try to blur out this client's name, of course, her personal information, but she is looking for a downtown area. These are the search parameters that we have. So she's looking for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, right here, and then this is the search function, and this is like the price range search. So whenever the system is getting information, you just implement like a range. But I also have a true budget here, because over the phone, and what she communicated with me is $1,500 of the budget. And what I'm trying to find is her lease end date is on the March 1st. So I'm trying to find really anything before then. And this is her non-negotiables. I just want to make sure I'm taking this note mentally. And then from there, what I literally do is just click this button, and it's already populating 15 properties for me. The legwork that I still have to do because of the system and how it's grabbing data is that the system does not know specifically what dates are there. It technically can, but because of the data that we are grabbing, it cannot be to the exact T. And it's because how the data is entered into the system that we're grabbing, and we cannot change that data. That's why we're allowing, for example, a zero here, where we see available now, even though we know that we cannot put her into this unit. But one thing that is searching is that it's not searching anything beyond March 1st. So what I'm trying to do is trying to find February, and trying to find February last 2 weeks. And we see here that's nothing right here. So that's already done. So I don't have to, the old way was to go to acero.com, you know, and doing all this stuff, click 5 different things here, you know, search floor plans. And then on top of that, we know that some of these properties, you have to click each and every single individual thing. So you can see that I searched like I clicked like 5 or 6 times just to search for one floor plan, and it's not available. So that's a waste of time in my opinion. So I developed this app that literally I just click one thing and scroll through, browse, and that's it. I'm done. Actually, as I'm scrolling through, sometimes I miss this. Bam, look at that. But the thing is, we know Acero is income capped, so we can't add her onto this. She makes too much money. She will get disqualified. So let's close this, and then we just continue with our search. This is pretty expensive. I'm assuming it's because it's looking over the river. Okay, that might be a possible option. Let's look at Flats River North. We know it's income capped, and that's all the availability they have. All right, let's go next. So I've already searched 3 properties within less than a minute. Okay, so this is how I'm speeding up the process, because normally it will take me like an hour to search for this stupid availability, and it's so dumb, and that's why I got frustrated. Okay, so now I see there's 2, bam, right there. All right, okay, that's done. I don't like Art House, Heritage Plaza, not a big fan. Yeah, because they're small, and she works from home, so she needs a little bit of space. I mean, maybe this will do, but This one would do better. Yep. Bam. And you can see that I'm literally scrolling past this, breezing through, and already searching 10 different properties. Almost 10 different properties, I should say. Okay. So there's, why is this? So sometimes I catch these bugs. You see this? So A6 is 836 square feet. And from my knowledge, residences, Grayson Heights. So this is why I have to like do this, and it takes me a little bit of time because I'm trying to fix this, right? So it becomes a better system for everybody else. So I know the A6 is not 704 square feet, and you could tell this, but literally 836 square feet and a 704, and it's the same floor plan. Not exactly the same thing. Oh, well, maybe it is. I'm wrong. It shows right here. It is the same floor plan, but I'm assuming one is bigger than the other. Duh. So I chose that because that's within our budget, and we could probably push that out. And this one as well, below 1,500, right? That's what we're trying to find. So this is a pretty big floor plan. So, ooh, there's a lot of options here, eh? And let's see here. Bam, bam, bam. Searched all those properties. And am I missing anything? So one thing that, because I'm developing this, the database is growing every single day. But for apartments in downtown area, I have 95% of the properties there, and which is great because this allows me, whenever I do a search for downtown, super fast. But I mean, right here, you could see that I'm selecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 properties I'm giving to my client, and I searched this within less than, what is this, 15 minutes? So great, you know. I used to take forever to do this. And right now I'm just typing in notes. What I'm doing is that each and every property has a note section that I can add. And what I normally do before was really just like sending individual quotes and texts and all that stuff. And it was a freaking hassle. So now that I'm just like, I have this system, I'm able to do this on here. So 1205. So unit, what unit is this right here? Oh, unit 1233 is 1205 net effective rent on a 13-month lease. And unit 1469 is, just calculating this real quick. $12.96 net effective rent. Okay. And that's it. You know, I save it, all the notes that I want to enter. If you want to enter something else for your client, then of course you could do that. But that's what this is for. And some people, who are newer to the business might be asking, like, how do you know that it is 6 weeks free, 13-month lease? Well, it's because I've been calling all these places, and literally it's in my head. Everything is in my head right now, and I've been used to doing this for the past 4 years. But for someone that's new and that have not been in the business that long and doesn't have the product knowledge and hasn't memorized everything, one of the greatest things that I have is this. This is I'll start from the beginning. So this is the listing library that we currently have. We have thousands of properties here in San Antonio, and you can see right now we have a database of 156. And that 1,000 properties, of course, not every property here in San Antonio is luxury, but we're focusing here at the luxury market. The library that I have, and you could click the website, this page in itself, not the whole library, but this properties page right here is shown to the client. Okay, whenever they get their list of properties, once they click on the list, they are able to see this property's details page, and it will show all these updates that basically this is all grabbed automatically. And then this special text is what me as the owner is entering and updating. And the last time you will see it updated is literally listed here, because I found that super important, where other databases like Smart, they don't have like a date and time that they updated it. They have like a month and a year, which is asinine. I think that's, for me, who is so A-type personality, I don't like that. I don't have that information. I want to know when it was grabbed, and of course, all that information is important for me to know as the confidence level whenever I shoot information over to a client. So with that being said, this is 6 weeks free, and this is all the information that I grabbed. I grabbed this roughly half a month ago. Okay, so maybe it is time to update, but it's at the end of the year. They're probably going to update next, like literally in a week. So that's when I would normally update the information. And then this private notes is where the compensation that we get, right? I enter this, and this is the private notes where the client, that whenever you send this list to, and whenever they click on the property list, this is not seen by the client. It's only seen by the agent and myself and the support staff that enters this information. And you can see here, all this info is given to really meant for the agent, and also meant for mainly the prospect and your client. And so whenever they take a look at it, they could take a look at all the availability and things like that. You can see here the unit numbers, but for the most part, this is really meant for the client. The only information that you will more than likely have as an agent is to have this right here. This is very important, and you can see the update information. But sometimes I even forget it myself. So what I'm doing here is I'm going back to the listing library, and bam, you can see here, see? Last updated 12/18th, and I know it's escort only. So one thing I do is I copy this and bam, paste it here. So I let my client know, hey, I have to escort. And I'm trying to figure out if it's worth mentioning, like highlighting or something like that, whenever agent sees that. It's like, oh, you have to escort to this property, just to like notify and help the agent out. That might be useful. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, okay, that's an improvement that I could have, that I could implement into this app that I currently do not have. So it's just like working through and utilizing the app is my day-to-day, that I have to continuously improve somehow, or some sort of feature that must be added or should be added, just to have the best app possible to help the agent and therefore help the client a little bit better. Here you go. So just a proof of concept right now. Heritage Plaza, bam. Unit 517 right here. Unit 517, that's 1436, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I have the habit of double checking with the actual source. So I go and check the website, and it'll populate. Hopefully. Oh, right here. Ooh, 8 weeks free. See? 8 weeks free on select apartment homes. So that's only 2 bedrooms though. I know that they were doing 6 weeks free for the longest time for every single floor plan. So without calling the property, I just kind of like wing it, to be honest. And if they're really interested, then I give them a little bit more information, or correct myself. Because as of right now, in my opinion, it's not worth checking right now until they're really kind of like already sold by it. That's basically it. This is all of the notes. And so if you click it again, of course you can edit this. And then one of the coolest features about the app right now is that we could individually send it to, send a guest card to every to the property, or you could just click this and it sends to everything. So confirmation, blah, blah, blah. And here is also a cool part for transparency reasons. You'll see all the emails that populate here, and you want to verify this. If something is incorrect, then you could correct it on your own end. The other cool thing is that you could send it to the client's email, or you could send it directly to the phone number. So the client's phone number is already part of the guest card, and it's utilizing that data and sending it from the phone service that I have a text. So once it's sent to their phone, they will get a link, okay? And if you send it to the email, this is here. And it has all your information, etc. And then once they click on the view properties details page, property details, you see all these notes. This is what they see whenever they open up this link on the desktop. Of course, on the phone, it will look a little bit different because most people will be looking on their phone, and it will be easier, scroll down and all that stuff. And of course, they could click on view Google Maps and it'll populate, oh, this is agave right here. They have the pinpoint right here. Of course, you still have the ads and all this BS and stuff like that, but they will understand once they read down the list, this is agave apartments. And then, if they want to see the properties details, it's still in my account, so that's why you could see the text of the private notes is not supposed to be. But this is what they see, as what I said previously. So that's pretty much it for the first day. I'm going to get working towards the app right now, but that's what I want to showcase you as a prospective agent that might be willing and wanting to join the team. This is what I currently have as the application.